Hi everyone, this is the model we are going to be making. This is very simple. It's consists of making this leg and next making this upper section, which is very simple to do. Of course, we're gonna make sure to add the texture at the end. So let's get started. Here is the cube that we are going to use as usual. Scale it down on the scaling on the z-axis to choose the height. Of course, it needs to be scaled furthermore like this. I remember that there is the add-on that I have to activate. This add-on will simply tell you which key I type, but it won't show you which axis I choose whenever I do an inaction. So you get be careful and look at it up here. When it says along, it's choosing the axis, which when it says lock, it is excluding the axis. Let's tap to edit mode. Now our first edges are going to be the outlines of the overall shape. Now we are too far from the object. Let us come closer. Okay. This first part is going to be rounded. We need to add these vertical edge loops. And I'm going to select all the side edge loops, but edges. But in order to be able to separate, because this is going to be rounded, this is going to be straight faced, it's going to be going to remain the same, but this one is going to become more of a cylinder. That's why I'm going to use an edge loop to separate things, so that if I move this part doesn't change. If there was no edge loop, this part will move as well. So undo, and now let's select our peripheral, or whatever you want to call it, edges. Move to top view and scale, exclude the z-axis, shift to exclude, and the axis you want to exclude. Front view, activate this X-ray to be able to select beyond the front view, or what you see, and scale along the X and Y. Okay, now that we have rounded versus straight, we need to in edit mode scale this up and down like so to have more of a table-like shape. That's for this. Maybe move this. We won't care much about the proportion, because what I like to do is do the details first, and then look if the proportions are good or what is that we want to correct. Of course, this is the right time to apply the subdivision modifier. And let's start from top to bottom. Would be nice if we zoom in a little bit, like so. Shift to add to selection, move up, scale sideways, scale down, about the right width, and one more here. Maybe this up a bit. Whatever you want to add more precision to your mouse movement, all you need to do is press shift while moving the mouse. It will allow you to do it in small intervals. But I tend to forget it most of the time. I kind of want to do it the normal way without. So I'm going to speed up this part because it's simply that one twice, except that it will be this direction and next the opposite direction. There you go. So now we need to take care a little bit more about these proportion things. Let's move that whole bit down. So it's kind of look the same. Now you see there is almost no edges apparent here. The reason why is we need to sharpen them, and for that we can simply add additional edges. So the way I will do it is 2 up and 1 down, which is closer. I can select these and scale up a bit. We'll do it however you want, doesn't really matter. In fact, we can add as much as details as possible, but it can't take forever. I guess I'm satisfied with this for now. Next part would be this one. So let's go ahead and select these guys that we are going to add edge crease to it, which is simply the way we can use to sharpen the edges. But the way it works, it needs, so you already can see there is some sharp edges here, but it's not scattered evenly. The way we can do this is simply adding 2 edge loops and scaling upwards. Maybe not too far. Okay. Now, if we scale this part, it will be better. Let's select these vertices. We should have 8 of them. Move the G to move, Z downwards, and let's try to add edge loop here to make it more apparent, like so. Alright, now we're almost done. All we need to do is make that smaller. We need to select everything, of course, and scale. And there we go. Now we move to the next part. We're gonna hide this objects so it doesn't come our way before we're gonna assemble them in the end. So now we're gonna deal with the upper part, upper section, if you want. For that we need the circle. Go to edit mode and have this edge selection activated. Of course, we need to add some depth or volume. Here I have extruded upwards, extrude and scale outwards. We need to focus more on this. Okay, now scale on the z-axis and extrude and scale again, extrude upwards, extrude, but this time escape. We can Alt and M to merge at center. We do the same thing here. We need to have this edge group selected and extrude, escape, Alt M to merge at center. Now we need to add bevel to these two edges, and third one, this one as well, because in real world there is no, the edges are not that sharp. Okay, now the next edge is gonna be beveled, but much more than the previous ones. Let's check for. Okay, I'm satisfied with the result. We can apply the shade smooth on it. Yeah, let's take back our the leg we have created and move this up z-axis. Scale it up a bit, but on X and Y only. Move this mesh sideways. We see it's already centered on this view, so it's perfect. What we need to do is we can already add the texture before completing the other legs, which is simply duplicating this one leg. And to do so, let's go to this shading workspace, and before that, make sure that there is the add-on for Node Wrangler activated. You can look for it here, tick that box, and we'll be ready for this. Ctrl-Shift-T and select the textures we want, namely roughness, color, and normal. Now the Node Wrangler takes care of everything. Let's move back to our view, and you notice that there is these faces that are apparent because our model doesn't contain all the details, all the faces necessary to look like a real object. So we fake it by shade smooth, which is simply shading, smoothing the shades. Of course, I'm gonna leave it there for this. Now let's click first this upper part and select the next one, and for applying the same materials, Ctrl-L and material. You see here, this is kind of like if it didn't work, it simply needs to be unwrapped correctly. So press A to select, and U unwrap, Smart UV unwrap. Okay, here you're gonna see that it's gonna work perfectly as intended. So what remains is very simple. Shift D to duplicate, move along the X-axis, and select both of these, and Shift D. Now we have duplicated them. Now rotate, R to rotate on the Z-axis, and try to align them perfectly so we have the symmetry we are looking for. And there you go. So I guess this is the end of the tutorial. I hope this was helpful for you. We can of course add more details as you wish. So if you have liked and appreciated my work, please like and subscribe to my channel.